right, we are back with another episode of It's That Easy. Hope everyone's having a great weekend. This is the Saturday morning edition because I was tired as crap on Friday night. So coming to you Saturday, going over some sports of what happened yesterday on Friday, what's going on today, and to give you the picks for all the baseball games that are going on today. So hope you're having a great time. Go ahead and like the video. And if you get a chance, go ahead and subscribe. I'd greatly appreciate that. And if you do subscribe, turn on notifications. That way you get notified every time I put out a new video. So a couple of things here before we jump in. I will timestamp the video. So we're going to talk about a few different sports. If you go into the description, you can actually click on like, yeah, I want to know about World Cup. I want to hear just about the baseball picks. We'll start off with some stuff, news, let's say, what's going on around the sporting world. And then at the end, I will go into all my picks for the baseball day. So if you want to go to those, you can go straight to those. So, and if you hang out till close to the end, there may be a something special there for you, so hang in there. So let's jump in. We'll start off with the Open. So if you're a golfer, you know what's going on, and if you're not, you don't. But so if in golf, there are four major championships, right? There's the Masters, there's the US Open, there's the PGA Championship, and then there's what they call the Open, which happens in Europe. This weekend it's happening in the UK. So got that going on. And so what's really weird is that you actually get to see, it starts at like, I think it starts at like 1 in the morning or something. I don't know. It starts really early because obviously time change. So right now what's going on is they're almost to the point where the leading guys will tee off. But just wanted to go a few things. If you're a golfer, I think you can appreciate this. Yesterday, one of the golfers named Bryson DeChambeau, who struggles all the time in these championship or in these big tournaments, he took a two-stroke penalty, which really sucks because if you golf, you know if you hit it into a bad spot, you can't see the ball. There's trees and grass and stuff all around it. Yeah, you got to get all this stuff out of the way. Me personally, I use my foot wedge. I put my foot next to the ball. I kick it into the regular grass, and I'm like, okay, perfect shot. These guys got to hit it out of wherever they hit it. Yeah, he must have changed some things. They gave him a two-stroke penalty, so he was actually tied for second. Once they gave him the penalty, he dropped down to fifth. So you know he's pissed today. We'll see how he does. There was here's something pretty funny. There's a guy named John Rahm who plays on the tour. He threw his club. He got in trouble yesterday from the PGA for throwing his club. Now, I will say this. I've played golf for many years. I've probably thrown a few clubs. Now that I'm a little older, a little more subdued, I don't throw the club when I get pissed, but I do want to, right? I can be like, no. I even want to hit the ground, but I try not to. But play with the younger guys. I've seen some clubs thrown, some balls thrown, all kinds of stuff. So it's good to know that these guys are actually normal guys like us, struggling through golf because golf is probably one of the hardest things you'll ever do in sports, or to be good at it. So I mean, you can hit the ball, you can roll the damn thing up there. Last thing, you could probably, if you're a golfer, you will appreciate this. Rory McIlroy had two drives yesterday, or over the last couple of days. A 377-yard drive and a 389-yard drive. One of them from the tee box, drove it. It rolled onto the green. I think it was like a 405-yard green. Yeah, so unbelievable. On a good day, if I can get a hold of my driver, I'm probably going a 280, maybe into the 290s, right? If I'm really tagging it pretty good and there's a downslope and the wind's behind me. So that's super impressive. Like I hit it as hard as I can, then he hits it like 100 yards further, so that's crazy. But these guys are amazing. If you get a chance, check it out. It's going on right now. The final will probably start like at 1 o'clock in the morning tonight. And then, you'll see it through Sunday. So pretty good. If you look at the guys there leading, I don't recognize those names, except I keep track of Scotty Scheffler. You see that it has a star by him because I always keep track of how he's doing. He's not doing too bad today, but I don't know if he's doing well enough to win. We'll see how that goes. But that's golf for you. So let's go into, we know the World Cup is going on and it's almost over. It's unbelievable. I remember watching the very first game. It was Mexico and South Africa. I was actually at work. We turned it on at work. We were all laughing and talking about it, like, oh, here it comes. It's going to go on for a month and a half. Well, here we are. We are at the end. Tomorrow is the last game, but today we have a third place game. So France and England, the two teams that lost in the semifinals, will play today. Good opportunity if you want to, wager a little bit there. Let's see, France minus 115, so they're obviously picked the favorite. England, they could surprise you, but they both, what? Here's the thing about France: they struggled the entire World Cup to score goals. Teams they should have beaten badly, they could not. They could not get the ball in the goal, and it showed when they played Spain that they just could not. I mean, they just had trouble doing it, and I don't know why. They're so talented. They got some great players on there, and they struggle. So for this one, um, I feel like they're going to get the ball in the goal, and I think England's going to do the same thing. So I'm going to pick England just because I like to go the underdog. It pays a little more, and you never know what's going to happen. So I'll probably pick England just on a whim. Who knows? And then the over under is 3.5. I might go the over just because, I mean, I could see where it's like, I don't know, 3-2. Like they're not playing for the championship, so they're just playing to score. Defense might let up a little bit. Score, 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 score. Because both England and France had trouble scoring. Between the two, they had one goal in the semifinal games. So they're probably going to make it up here, where they probably score 100 goals. But I'm going to go over the 3.5. Let's see how that does. So good luck with your World Cup, and then the finals tomorrow. Spain and Argentina should be pretty good. So let's jump into what happened yesterday. So now that we're back from the All-Star break, yesterday we had another I think it was 14 games yesterday. I don't think all the teams played yesterday. I think the Mets and the Phillies played Thursday. They did not play yesterday, and they will be back today. So let's run through it. Super disappointed. Some people, I'm sure, are super excited. The Braves and the Rangers. Braves destroyed the Rangers. Like, I did not see that coming, but I should have seen that coming. And even though I did pick the Braves, so a really quick announcement there. Just wanted to let you know. Check out the logo there and the hat. Got some of these going on there. So if anybody says, hey, you know what, those are pretty cool hats. You just like to collect hats or wear hats, or you like them this color. These are kind of cool color there. Feel free to email me, rrod3211@gmail.com. Let me know. Got them for $15. They're pretty inexpensive for a good looking hat. So, and if you want me to sign it, I could even sign it there. I'm thinking about putting a QR code too, to be like, hey, go to the QR code too. Go to my YouTube. Watch our podcast here. So, anyway, Red Sox. So, obviously the Rays are they have a better record. Red Sox were at this time we're on a 10-game winning streak. Yeah, they put it to, and I picked the Red Sox yesterday. I said, you know what? Let me drop a little wager. It was the first game of the day. Yeah, they destroyed them. Dodgers showed up because the Yankees were beating them 1-0 for most of the game. Dodgers, remember I said they struggle in the second half. One game isn't, like going to solve the problem, but they did show up yesterday in New York and beat them. Red Sox in the doubleheader won the second game. Not as impressive, but they did win. So, a win's a win. White Sox, I don't know if you remember that I did tell you, the White Sox in the first half were one of the top teams at winning as an underdog. Well, guess who was an underdog yesterday? They were. And guess who won? The White Sox did. So good call there. Brewers and Marlins, they were both kind of struggling, but the Brewers at home figured would win there. Brewers take that. Twins and the Cubs. Thought the Cubs would have a little better showing. Twins showed up. Orioles and Astros. Astros were winning. Orioles came back at the end. And the Astros had a chance in the ninth inning, but could not come back, finish that comeback. We'll see how it goes today. Royals, look at that. So they took it. I was kind of giving Royals a hard time. I think they took it personal. They said, yeah, watch this. Beat up on the Padres yesterday in extra innings, won on a walk-off. Reds, I also picked the Rockies. I wasn't sure between those two. Gave the Rockies the nod just because they were at home. Didn't work out there. Tigers did come through, won the game, and I think they were losing most of the game. Came back at the end there. Cardinals were another team that I said those guys had the second most wins or third most wins as an underdog in the first half of the season. I think they were an underdog yesterday, slight underdog, and won the game. They were actually ahead of that, and then Diamondbacks came back at the end, but they stopped him with 2 on in the ninth inning. Look at this one, Nationals. This was the second team. I think they tied with the White Sox as the most underdog wins in the first half of the season. I think they were an underdog in LA in Las Vegas, and they destroyed the Athletics. It was pretty bad. So, but usually when you score 23 in one day, maybe do you score anything the next day? Maybe one or two. We're gonna keep an eye on that. And then there we go. Because I told you, I picked the Mariners. They always lose. Maybe that's good because they're in the Rangers division. We need them to lose. Giants shut them out there. So those were your or those were the games from yesterday. We're gonna go to the games for today, for Saturday. Give you my picks. Let's see how it goes. So so if you were just watching for the news, thanks for hanging out. You can click out now. But if you want to hang in there, let's see what some picks are. Maybe you want to make some predictions of your own. Here we go. Rangers and the Braves. Rangers are still in Atlanta after getting destroyed yesterday. Rangers pitching Gore, 4.63 ERA. He won his last game, but he didn't do too well before that. The Rangers on a 1-game losing streak. Obviously, they lost there. Braves pitching Murphy, 2.25 ERA. But he's actually lost his last 2 starts. And they've won 2 in a row. It's hard not to pick the Braves in this one. So we're going to go Braves. You saw yesterday they were a heavy favorite. Today, they're just a slight favorite. We'll go with the Braves, but I do feel like Gore will give a good outing today. It's just he struggled the last time he came out, so we'll see how that goes. Pirates and the Guardians, I think they're playing. So they did not play yesterday because of weather. They're playing 2 today. We're going to go through the first one here. Actually, this is the late one that I'm talking about here. Ashcraft versus Allen. Ashcraft for the Pirates, 3.49 ERA. He's actually won his last 5 starts. So beat Milwaukee, Washington, Philly, Seattle, the A's. Like he beat some pretty good teams. The Pirates have won 3 in a row, so they're doing well. Coming out of the All-Star break, the Guardians pitching Allen. He's got a 5.0 ERA. He's actually just making his second start. His first start, it was 4 runs or 4 innings, 2 runs. Well, I mean, it's decent. Guardians have won 4 in a row, but because this kid's making his second start, I think the Pirates do know what they're doing, maybe. So we're going underdog today with the Pirates to win there. Twins and the Cubs. Twins pitching Bradley, 3.59 ERA. He's actually won his last 5 starts. So that's impressive. And then they've won 3 in a row. That's impressive too because they won yesterday. Cubs are pitching Boyd, 4.50 ERA. He's actually won his last 5 starts as well. He beat some pretty good teams. Beat the Mets not the Mets. They're bad. Yeah, I guess he beat decent teams. The Reds, Orioles, Padres. But they've lost 1 in a row. The numbers tell me Twins. We're going to go Twins on this one as the underdog today. See how that works out. My favorite here, the White Sox and the Blue Jays. White Sox pitching Martin, 3.41 ERA. He's actually lost 4 of his last 5 starts. But on the flip side of that, the White Sox have won 4 in a row. They're playing really well. Blue Jays are pitching Bieber, probably Justin. Who knows? 7 because it's a 7.64 ERA. So yeah, Justin. Yeah, he's learning. Even though they won his last start, they did lose the prior 3 starts. And the Blue Jays have lost 3 in a row. So for that, I hate that the White Sox are the favorite. I wanted them to be the underdog so I could really make a little wager on those guys, but they're the favorite today, slight favorite. But we're going to go White Sox. Reds and the Rockies. Yeah, I read that one really wrong yesterday. But Reds beat them. But the Reds are pitching Louder, 4.91 ERA. He doesn't have 2 really good starts. His last 2 are only 2-inning starts, and he's lost 4 of his last 5 starts. They have won 1 in a row because they did win yesterday. The Rockies are pitching Sagano, 4.80 ERA. He actually, even though he lost his last start, he won the 4 prior, beat the Pirates, the A's, the Cubs, and the Angels. So they've lost 3 in a row. So I got to go with the Rockies to flip it. They're actually, the numbers slightly, they have these teams so even right now. That's why the Reds are a slight favorite there. I'm going to go Rockies. I like that over 13. I don't know if they're going to hit that, but it's going to be interesting to watch because they probably get close if they don't go over. But if I did have to go, I'd probably pick the over on that one. Mets and the Phillies are back in action after playing Thursday and not playing yesterday. The Mets won actually. Mets pitching Manea, 4.56 ERA, won his last start, but they did lose the three prior. They've won one in a row because they won Thursday. Phillies pitching Luzardo, 3.92 ERA. He's got his last two starts were pretty good. 7 innings, no runs, 6 innings, 1 run. They've won his last four starts, and they did lose right before, but they were doing well before the All-Star break. I'm going to stick with the Phillies on this one. I did pick the Mets on Thursday, and they did win. They got out to a good start. Phillies came back, but the Mets held on. I think Phillies take it today in Philly. Rays and the Red Sox. Rays pitching Seymour, 4.59 ERA, even though he lost his last start to Seattle of all teams. So I must have picked the Rays because Seattle won that day. They did win his three prior starts, even though they were against the Royals and the Yankees. So, But the Rays have lost 3 in a row. Boston, on the other hand, Boston 11 game now after yesterday, 11-game winning streak. They're on a tear. They're pitching Sandoval, 2.08 ERA. It's only his second start. His first start was 4 innings, 1 run. So I'm guessing this is going to be his start and kind of like a bullpen game where they expect to use probably 3, 4, 5 guys out of the bullpen. They've won 11 in a row. I do not want to go against a streak, even though all streaks come to an end. We know that. Boston, slight favorite there because Tampa Bay has like 10 more wins than them in the season. We're going to go Boston today, kind of keep that streak going. It does end at some point. Hopefully not today. Let's see. You got to bear with me here because I started using, don't get mad at me here, but I started using AI to kind of get things set up so I could look at, my charts. I could create, what I'm presenting here. And so when I did it manually, it's very easy. Like, okay, here's the game, here's this game, and you kind of go by them. Yeah, AI is not working with me so well. So if I skip one or something, it's not. It's a work in progress. Let's see. Orioles and the Astros. Orioles pitching Rogers, 4.48 ERA. He's won his last 4 starts, beat the Cubs, the Reds, the Nationals, and the Dodgers. Okay, those are impressive wins there. And the Orioles have won 5 in a row after winning yesterday. Astros pitching Arrighetti, who started off hot. He's kind of mid now, 4.50 ERA. They've actually lost his last 5 starts. To Nationals, the Rays, the Tigers, the Guardians, and the Royals. Okay, that was a bad loss there. They've actually lost 2 in a row. I picked them yesterday. I'm going to go Orioles today. Very, very slight. I'm pretty sure these guys are even. Actually, the Orioles actually may be favored. That number's been shifting up and down, but it's very close to probably the same number. So we'll go Orioles today. Padres and the Royals. Padres pitching Canning, 6.47 ERA. He's lost his last 3 starts, and they did lose yesterday. Kansas City, pitching Dobnak, 1.86 ERA. He got 2 good starts. His last one was 5 innings, no runs. They did lose his last 2 starts. He's making his 3rd start today. Let's see. The numbers just heavily favor the Royals. It's kind of making me nervous there. They're close. That 111, I think the Royals are 108 or something like that. Something close. We're gonna go Royals today. Maybe they'll make a believer out of me to get back in action there. Cardinals and the D-backs. Cardinals pitching May, 4.55 ERA. You see, he lost his last 2 starts, but he did win the 3 prior. So, he's up and down. They won 1 in a row. They won yesterday. Diamondbacks pitching. I don't even know this guy's name. It sounds like a sound. Profat. 5.03 ERA. Won his last 3 starts though. Beat the Dodgers, the Padres, and the Giants. So he's beating up on the West Coast there. But they've won 4 of their last 5, but they did lose yesterday. This is the one I told you. St. Louis has been doing well as an underdog the first half of the season. We're going to stick with St. Louis today. They're a slight underdog. So let's see if we can make a little change on that. Marlins. Let's see. Let me find this. Marlins and the Brewers. Marlins pitching Meyer, 2.58 ERA. They did win his last start and 4 of his last 5 starts. Beat Seattle, St. Louis, San Francisco, and the Pirates. But the Marlins have lost 4 in a row. The Brewers are pitching Drohan, 3.09 ERA. He's got actually 2 good starts, 6 innings, 3 runs in his last 2 starts. Lost his last start, but did win the 3 prior. The Brewers won one in a row now. But you know what? I'm going to go with the Marlins. I just have this feeling. Well, the numbers I use tell me the Marlins. I don't know. I just have this feeling that they're the underdog, and this is a good opportunity to make a little change there. So let's see how the Marlins do today. Here we go again. San Francisco and the Mariners. I picked the Mariners. They get their. They didn't just lose. They got shut out. And then I'll see who I picked today. Who knows? The opposite may happen. Giants pitching Webb, 3.86 ERA. His last start was 7 innings, 5 runs. Lost 3 of his last 4 starts, but the Giants have won 3 in a row. Mariners pitching Woo, 4.23 ERA. Lost 3 of his last 5 starts. They've lost 1 in a row. I'm going to go with the Giants as underdogs today, and I think we all know what's about to happen. So, get your money ready for the Mariners. Let's see, Dodgers and the Yankees. Dodgers pitching Sheehan, 4.81 ERA. He's lost 4 of his last 5 starts, but the Dodgers did win yesterday. They were struggling coming into the All-Star break, but they did win. Yankees pitching Weathers, 4.15 ERA. He won his last start, but he did lose the 2 prior. They're all struggling there. Lost 1 in a row, obviously. But I'm going to go Yankees. They actually have Dodgers slightly favored. I'm going to go Yankees today. It was a 2-1 yesterday, so close game. May do another under today, under 9 runs. But I'm going to stick with the Yankees. Nationals and the A's. Nationals pitching Littell, 4.90 ERA. Lost 4 of his last 5 starts. That stinks. But they did win yesterday, because I told you they're good dogs. A's pitching Gin, 3.76 ERA. He lost his last 2 starts. The Athletics have lost 5 in a row. For some reason, they're favored today. So we got to go with the underdog, Washington Nationals. We'll see how that goes. And they're playing in Las Vegas. Another over-under of 11 runs. The ball flies out of that park. I would probably go over. A nice day game. Is it a day game? Oh, actually, this might be a night game. Doesn't matter. The air's thin. It's going to be flying. Probably over the 11 runs there. And then the last one's Tigers at the Angels. Tigers pitching Scooble, 3.09 ERA. His last 2 games, 5 innings, 1 run, 5 innings, 2 runs. So, pretty good. And getting better, considering he's come back from that injury. But they have won 1 in a row. So the Angels pitching Rodriguez, 7.84 ERA. Even though he did win his last start, they lost the 3 prior to that. The Angels have lost 3 in a row. Tigers are huge, huge favorites because Scooble's on the mound. So I'm putting Tigers, but if you are a gambler, right? Gambling means you take chances. Here's an opportunity with a huge favorite there. You never know what's going to happen. Angels are at home. Could be a nice little, as a just in case, put a little $5 down. Could probably 2.5 times that if they win. So here are your picks for a Saturday, July 18th. Hope you have a great weekend. Let's look at them really quick here. A lot of favorites, right? Well, not a ton. Maybe a few. Braves, Sox, Phillies, Boston. Let's see. Oh, actually, there's not a lot that I put on here. Tigers. And yeah, here's the dogs. Wow, these are pretty good. Pirate dogs, Twins dogs, Rockies dogs, Baltimore dog, KC dog, St. Louis, Miami, San Francisco, Washington. So let me tell you this. Yesterday, there were 14 games yesterday. 5 favorites won, 9 underdogs won yesterday. So maybe it was a fluke. Maybe it's a trend. We're going to find out. So good luck. Hope you have a great rest of your weekend. Hope we'll see you tomorrow for the Sunday edition. If you're, and here's what I was going to tell you. If you made it this far, if the first person that sends me an email at my rrod3211@gmail.com and says, I made it this far, put it in the thing, I made it this far, and send me your Cash App, I will send you $10 Cash App just to say thank you for making it to the end. So have a great weekend. Enjoy your time. And if you do decide to bet on golf, World Cup, baseball, whatever it is, I hope you win a ton of money. Have a great one.